Hey everybody, it's Stove Talk with Matt. I want to go over this PDF I got from firespeaking.com with you. We'll look at the internal structure of their, I believe it would be called a counterflow masonry heater. They are shipping basically the entire core, all the component parts, the door, the oven door, the clean out doors, the specialty refractory pieces. They'll ship it to people, basically an entire masonry heater on a pallet, hundreds and hundreds of pounds. But you would need to source like firebrick and some things locally. But most of the components, and of course all the specialty cuts, depending on what type of masonry heater somebody's going to buy from them, would be shipped on the pallet. I'm not sure if they ship to Canada. First things first, I'm not getting paid to do this. I've never taken a penny from anybody. I can't vouch for these particular heaters, but I can vouch in general for Firespeaking. I've ordered some product from them over time, a door here, a clean out door there, a damper here. The shipping has been very quick, well packed. I've spoken to one of the owners, Max, very knowledgeable, very professional. So no, I'm not doing this as some sort of paid promotion. I'm here to support anybody that will work with me to promote the masonry heater idea, to promote these stoves. I've reached out in the past to one degree or another to Tempcast. They weren't that interested in kind of working with me. I've reached out to who else? The Sidor stove, which is you load from the top, and they kind of blew me off and said, well, you can come back to us when you have a few thousand more subscribers. So Firespeaking didn't do that. Again, if I sound like a cheerleader, it's because I believe in the design of these stoves, and I would love to have one, not because I'm being paid. Okay, let's get that out of the way. So basically, they'll ship you the core, and I think you can see my cursor here. The base, if these are standard firebricks, I think they would say you need to get these from your local supplier. They're probably full-size firebricks, 9 by 4.5 by 2.5. Any specialty cuts like this big refractory square, or of course the side channels, this lintel across, I'm sure that all comes in the pallet. The angled pieces in the firebox, so the coals fall inward, the grate. I'm pretty sure, of course, that it all comes. Any specialty pieces, probably standard firebrick. We'll look at the pricing at the end. Standard firebrick is probably sourced by, they'll tell you how many to buy. You get that locally. That's my understanding. So this would be a pretty traditional counterflow design. The base, air goes in the clean out door, comes up. Your logs, they're lit basically twice a day. 6, 7, 8, 9 logs burned at huge temperatures twice a day. There's an oven here. The flames, I don't believe, as we'll look at it, don't go through the oven, but go around back to warm the oven, come to the top. What are they calling this? A 5 run. So up, down the sides, up and out. Up, down this side, down and up. So 5 run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. So here is the different main heater volume, 48 by 32. Options, bench on the sides, bench in front. The bench can be heated or not heated. If you go with one of these options, of course, you'd have to buy additional parts and things that would come on the pallet from firespeaking.com. So let's go through this quickly, and then we'll come back we'll spend more time on things like this. This is the front view? This is the side view. Let's look at the side view first. Wood is loaded here, ash clean out door, and also air grate. Traditional. This is the way the traditional Russian stoves are built, and the European masonry heaters. Looks like a nice high firebox, which eats up a lot of smoke. Here's the oven. Oven door would be here. Looks like a tighter space to slip the gases and the smoke behind the oven. And then at the top here, they find their way down and up. Like here's the view from the front to the back. Can't see the back. This is the oven. The gases would slip behind the back wall of the oven, or the refractory piece for the oven and the firebrick, and then would come up to the top, down the sides, back up and out, down the sides, back up and out. Let's see what else is in this PDF here. Yep. firebox, updraft, downdraft, updraft, downdraft. In all the Russian stoves, this is seems like it's built perfectly to me. The downdraft channel is typically twice the size of the updraft. That if you don't know these stoves, that seems counterintuitive, but that is the way all the Russians have been building these things for hundreds of years. An updraft channel that's a little tighter, as long as it's not too tight, will move things more quickly. So goes to the top, downdrafts in the front. There's some sort of an opening at the bottom in the base. We can go back and take a look at that, and then it comes back up these updraft channels and then out. Let's go back and take a look at the base. Yeah, down. This is completely open, I guess. So there's that wall here that separates the downdraft channel from the updraft channel. Then the bottom, this rests on the base. This is open, so the gases slip under the open base into the updraft channel. Again, this is tried and true European counterflow design, similar to temp cast. I mean, this is tried and true, for hundreds of years, is my understanding. So let's see. This is a hybrid core, which means that the cast components are combined with firebrick and facing masonry. So, right, the idea is you build this thing, you source the firebricks locally, but once this is then the core, there's different ways to then face it. The Russians sometimes use stucco, but they're meant to be faced with a real red brick, a shale and clay red brick, even stone. But you always want to get a stone that's very heat I can't say it this morning for some reason. Will absorb heat and not reflect heat. Some stones, of course, do that better than others. But, of course, none of that comes in the kit. You would work with your local stone supply house, or people might source it locally in their backyard. And what's nice about this is you can put everything together, and then if you're not in a rush to make it, you could just take your time with it. And, if you were not in a rush to use it as the primary way to heat the house, you could just very slowly, this is what appeals to me, very slowly craft the stone around it at your own pace. And this is I'll show you the pricing at the end. Recommended outside airline, absolutely. If they have the components, so if you can put an outside airline is always not required. It's absolutely not required for this type of masonry stove that's only burnt for an hour and a half or 2 hours twice a day, and then it radiates heat the other 18 hours. But it is always a preferred option if you can add an outside airline, not just so it doesn't steal heat from your house. I think even for health reasons. I've heard somebody from the Masonry Heater Association give a lecture say you should not use an outside airline for large masonry stoves. I don't know exactly the way he put it, but that's basically what he said, and I absolutely disagree. I have 2 outside airlines on my iron wood stoves. Both are about 25 to 30 feet long. That is not recommended, but that's how much I believe in the outside airline. So this is just the very top. Of course, dampers are exactly in the right place. Open the damper, heat the chimney. You need to heat the chimney up hot before you close the damper, which would then cause the gases to go down the downdraft and then up the updraft. Down the downdraft. If the damper didn't allow the hot gases to immediately get up and warm the chimney run, none of these stoves would draft properly. You always need this damper. Looks like it's in the exact right spot. I'm not sure if it's a damper on top of a damper or there's 2. Maybe we'll take a look at that. It could be. What's this? Anchor plate. Again, anything that's not a standard fire brick, I'm sure comes in their pallet. They'll ship you the glass door, the oven door, clean out doors, the bottom, the grate. The bottom is the ash clean out door. Also allows air through. If you want to really rage it up, the Russians will just open the Russians will open their ash clean out door 2 to 3 or 4 inches and leave it open, so the tremendous amount of air can get through for absurdly high temperatures for an hour and a half to 2 hours. Then the stove absorbs all the heat and radiates it out for 10, 12 hours, etc. So I guess that's the end. Looks like they have some sort of special too, I think. You'd have to look at firespeaking.com. If you order by early February, there's some 15% discount, something like that. I told them I was going to make a video about, about their heaters, and they said, great, thanks, and try to mention the 15%. Just like in Coming to America, said, try to work in the restaurant. Daddy, I'm not mentioning the restaurant. Well, I did mention the 15% off, but it's only, I think, for a few more weeks. So let me shut this part down, and then we'll look at the pricing in just a second. Okay, guys, let's look at the pricing for a few minutes. Firespeaking custom masonry heater core kits. Firebox module, so it's done by section. The quantity of how much you'll need, what would come on the pallet would be 2 of these. Firebox subfloor left and right at $150 a piece, $300 in total. So it's broken down like that. Firebox module, $2,500. I'll go slowly in case anybody wants to come back and take a close look at this if you're considering buying one. The oven module, $791. 5-run with oven heat exchanger module. Here you need 8 of these at $289 each. The 5-run heat exchanger for the up and the down and the up and the down. $23.12. So let me just get through this. Here's all the hardware: the doors, the ash clean out door, the the glass door, so you can load wood and see the fire. $22.90. Miscellaneous $478. 9074, $9,000. I thought the 15% promotion, I thought they said February 1st or early February. Maybe it's just to January 26th, guys. But and 7713 is like cheap. I mean, you have to buy your own fire brick. You have to do your own facing. Use cheap old brick for facing. You could use stone, which would be expensive. So, whatever, that's up to you. But I mean, 7713. The tool, just to give you an idea, guys. Again, they're not giving me anything for this. It's just Tulakivi all soapstone masonry heaters. Once all said and done, for the big ones, it's like $25,000 to $30,000. So I know you have to buy your own fire brick. They'll tell you how much you need depending on if you're going to do the benches or what option. You have the facing on the front. That's expensive, but it's still really well priced, guys. If you got some custom, masonry group to do it for you on their own, it'd be way more than this. People are putting little shit ass decks on people's homes for $9,000. Shit ass decks. But if you get that damn fake wood, it's like $20,000 for that shit. This is good pricing. Okay, I guess I said that. What else did I want to mention? Well, I guess I'll just wrap it up there, guys. I'm out to support anybody that pushes forth the masonry heater Russian stove concept, because Exxon doesn't want this. Trust me, the big corporations don't want this. All this old tech or the old knowledge was basically destroyed and taken away from us when oil was dirt cheap and gas was dirt cheap, and they don't want people taking to this. With how crazy energy prices are getting, I mean, this could pay for itself in 7 to 10 years, and a lot quicker if there's weird spikes. The last time I filled up my oil tank, not the last time, but 2 times back, it was pretty much empty. I had to fill it up. I forget the month, and I don't fill up much here because I keep my house cold. It was $600 to fill my oil tank. So as expensive as these things are, they at some point, like 10 years down the road, it's like they're free because they pay for themselves. All right, thanks, guys. I hope somebody takes advantage of this based on seeing this video.